Hello, Spanish 3. This is Mr. Moore. Just throwing another video your way. This is a little bit of a unique week because normally we would be doing a test this week. Like we usually have like the first section of a chapter, then another section of a chapter, and then we would do a test after we've done a couple quizzes and so on. Well, we're not really doing testing and quizzing due to the pandemic at this point. But what we would usually do toward the beginning of a .3 week or something like this is we would do some sort of a translation exercise. So I have one, and I tried to find one that wasn't so much of a downer. I was looking through all the stuff in El País and El Mundo and some of the other things that I can find through News in Slow Spanish, which are great, which is a great resource that we've looked at in the past. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this. You're kind of looking at it right here. I'm going to share this article with you guys. You won't have to do the dialogue below, okay? All I'm going to want for you to do, and please, I'm going to put you on the honor system at this one. Don't just hold your phone up to it with Google Translate and say, wham, there it is, cut, paste. Look, I did it. Actually try to go through the process a little bit, okay? I will fully admit I did pre-read this so that I could explain it to you correctly. I didn't translate it perfectly the first time I did it myself, so it might take you a little bit longer, but this will be the only thing for this week. There won't be any vocabulary that's specific to a new chapter. There's not going to be a new set of grammar rules that we're focusing in on. Instead, rather, this is a little bit more holistic, and we're just gonna kind of test our grammar and vocab skills, and more importantly, our ability to test our written comprehension, our reading comprehension by doing this short translation. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this. You're going to have this guy right here. I'll make sure to share that with you. And this, the title, paragraph 1, middle paragraph, and final paragraph. You are just going to write those in English. Now, there's a couple ways you could share that back with me. You could just share it as a Google Doc back with me. You can just write it down on a piece of paper, take a picture, PDF it or JPEG it to me, just the same way we did the workbooks, and that will be perfectly fine. So here it is. This is the article with which you're going to do. You're not going to do this part. I'll have this crossed out in the one that I share with you in Google Classroom. So before we get too far into it, just a quick note. I will be working through in the second half of this video the exact translation, both literal and general, so that you can check your work after you're done as well. The idea is that you'd be able to do this kind of on your own, know how well or poorly you did, and just be submitting it to me after the fact. So you'll want to pause it pretty soon, but before I tell you to, so that you're not getting too much early information on that. But as a side note, before we get going, I miss you guys. I wish I had you in class. I don't miss the waking up in the morning part, which I'm sure some of you aren't in the same spot either. But I do miss actually seeing faces and the whole contact component of it. So I hope you guys are well. If you ever need anything for me to explain something better in one of my videos, feel free to set up either a Google Meet with me or just email. I'm totally open. Remember, I do have office hours from 1:30 to 3:30 most days, so you can always get in touch with me. So let's go ahead and dig in, shall we? This is one that is only it's only related to the pandemic on the periphery. It's not all about that. But this was kind of an interesting one that actually I kind of stole it from Mrs. Moore. As you know, she teaches French, and there was an interesting article about how in Belgium, where they also speak French, that there is a significant issue with their food chain supply. We have supply chain issues happening on our own here in the U.S. too, but theirs has to do with potatoes of all things. As many of you are aware, what we call French fries didn't really originate in France. They originated in Belgium. We should call them Belgian fries for all practical purposes, but I digress. Let's get to the article that this has to do with. So I'm going to go to this might look very familiar to you because in class we'll sometimes go over this after we've spent a couple days doing small group translation, which you're doing on your own this time. But let me just sort of walk you through the process and we'll see how we do. And I'm going to try to put my face over here. Whoa, there we go. There we go. So here we go. Belgians urged to eat more fries in order to help potato growers. This says productores, okay, so producers of potatoes. When they say producers, they mean growers and people who own the farms and things like that. So we're kind of lumping a lot into one category. Continuing on. And here we go. In Belgium, the restaurants will remain closed until at least the 8th of June due to the COVID-19 quarantine, confinament of COVID-19. There are 750,000 tons of potatoes unsold, it says sin vender, without having been sold. So unsold, that will remain edible until the end of June. The price of the potatoes has plummeted, has significantly dropped. Now, if you want to break that down a little bit, this is the present perfect tense, where you have it has, and then caído means fallen, and picado means a lot. So it has fallen a lot. We would just say it has plummeted. So the director of the Association of Potato Growers in Belgium, Roman Cools, great name, Roman Cools, says that the solution is simple: to eat more fries. He pointed to some statistics that demonstrate that normally households, homes in Belgium, consume a portion of fries weekly. And he suggested that it wouldn't hurt consumers and it would help the producers out quite a bit. And he says, quote, "It will not damage your health if you eliminate a little bit of fat from other foods." Okay, so if you're eliminating fat, so I guess where he's trying to go with this is that if you eliminate a little bit of extra fat elsewhere, you can help out the potato growers here to eat more fries in this regard. This is what Cools suggests Cools. Belgium, per capita, is the greatest exporter of frozen potato products in the world, del mundo. The the processed potato sector is currently valued at, and this is great, I love this part, more than, and I'll explain in a moment, $2,000 million per year in that country. Now, we wouldn't say 2,000 million, we would usually say 2 billion, right? So that's just a small difference in how they would speak something in that one. But anyways, it's a more than $2 billion valuation for just that sector for each or per year in that country. So, and then it goes on. You have Guillermo and Carmen having a little chat about it and everything. We're not going to take a look at that for now. So, hopefully you didn't go through and do this whole process. Hopefully you looked up a few things on your own, and hopefully you can compare what I've said to what you have, and that is of value for you. So, but next week we will have new grammar, new vocab. We will be kind of moving on. There'll be a short thing out of the workbook too. I really hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that you're finding some sort of rhythm and system during your downtime to keep yourselves either active or healthy, preferably both. So for now, ciao, hasta luego y adios, clase.